Oh, back on the record in the matter of McNeil and McNeil versus Lopez. And I've had an opportunity to hear testimony today from both sides and review evidence from both parties. The McNeils are seeking a possession judgment only for recovery of the property. And that they, at this time, were not seeking recovery for their request for money damages, indicating in their complaint that the tenant had not made any payment of rent, but I thought it was interesting, and it should be stated here, that landlords even indicated here in their notice to quit that the tenant has to move to remove the bed bugs and fix the home. So it appears that even at the time that they filed their notice to quit, that they believed that they were experiencing some issues or resistance, I would say, relative to getting or gaining access to the property. So they didn't, however, note that on their complaint. I have here exhibits admitted by the landlords relative to some abandoned property, the property happening to be boarded up, and then trash and debris correction notice. These notices, both the abandoned vehicle and the trash and debris, were noted just recently, violation date being March 7th, 2023. We'll address those in just a moment. The defense is arguing that the tenant suffered a constructive eviction and noted in their affirmative defense that the ceiling or the kitchen ceiling leaks when the toilet gets flushed, that there were several windows that were broken. The porch light did not have electricity. There were bed bugs throughout the home, and the home was red tagged. It said the notice was posted on October 21st, 2022. They've admitted exhibits. Number one, the first exhibit I have here is Exhibit F. Property unsafe, do not enter. It's actually dated for September 9th, 19th, 2022. And then we have the defense exhibits D and E, which essentially support why the property was red tagged. It says that the certificate of compliance had expired from, it says, more than 1 year. Unclear as to the court as to how long that certificate had been expired, but we did have at least testimony that the property was inspected and approved, at least upon the time in which Mr. Lopez moved into that property. Exhibits B and A, both being letters that were supported to have been written or composed with the assistance of someone from Child and Family Services, not really providing for the court, at least, much evidentiary value, primarily because I don't have a signature on these documents from Mr. Lopez. Mr. Lopez, while under oath, said he didn't know what these documents were. He didn't remember them. There's no indication that he actually ever sent these to the landlord. All we know is that they were drafted. And so I don't think that that really supports that he provided that information. The question before the court, without even going into all of these other exhibits, because we have some receipts and then we have some photos. The question before the court is whether or not the defendant suffered a constructive eviction. The issue at stake or at hand is that the property was red tagged, actually in short order after the complaint was filed. And once that property was red tagged, it required the defendant to have to vacate the property. And based on the testimony, he was removed or told he had to be removed by law enforcement. So that would fall under a forcible removal of the property without there being an eviction or a proper eviction. And the explanation or the position that I know that you all would hold is that you no longer wanted to rent, you didn't get the certificate taken care of, he wouldn't let you in the property. The unfortunate portion for you is that you are the owner of the property. And when he didn't, or if he didn't let you in the property, you had a responsibility to get access to the property by other means if he's not going to willingly let you in there. That's what we're here for. And so you could have come through the courts to get access to the property because you had a health condition in there. But from the time that at least you admit you knew, which was 2021, you never took any efforts to gain entry into that property. I don't have any information before me one way or the other that support whether or not you were notified that there was a leak. But I don't even believe that the leak is at this point germane to the constructive eviction, because once the property was red tagged, he had to get out. So then you would then be responsible for the constructive eviction because you're the owner of the property. You're the only person who can get that certificate. And if you weren't going to rent anymore, once that lease expired, then you were supposed to get him out of the property, and you didn't do that either. And I recognize that you probably did it because you were trying to work with them, but it still put the onus and responsibility on you when you decided you were going to rent property. So unfortunately, that doesn't go to your benefit. As to the pictures, I'm just going to address this just because of the statements that were made on the record about what could have potentially caused this hole in the ceiling. And you did indicate upon my questioning that there was a bathroom that was above there. It's apparent that there's a serious leak in this property. That didn't happen from getting out the bathtub. You also have in Exhibit J where a ceiling in a bedroom has also collapsed. I don't know where in proximity this bedroom is to this bathroom, but you may possibly have a serious pipe leak, or it could be that you have a roof leak, but you got something going on in there. And you should be thankful to the Lord that you didn't have a tenant in there when this happened, because this didn't happen while he was in there. And as you can see, this hole is very close to an electrical unit. So this could have been pretty devastating. But God bless you on that end. Unfortunately, you are responsible, however, for the constructive eviction. And so by the law, it states here that any tenant in possession of premises whose possessory interest has been unlawfully interfered with by an owner is entitled to recovery of the amount of his or her actual damages, or $200, whichever is greater, for each occurrence, and if possession has been lost, to recover possession. I'm not in this instance going to be able to warrant in possession of the property. The property is red tagged. And so you need to be able to get complete and utter access to the property so that you can bring that property up to code. The lease has been expired, and I'm going to deem that he's been constructively evicted. I'm going to award him damages for that. These exhibits that I have for the receipts would indicate that he did not stay in a hotel all this time.
So that's not so the receipts that we have are not the complete record of receipts for his entire stay. He has been staying in multiple different hotels. And he's been staying in a couple of different hotels. He's staying at the Red Roof Inn and the Green Acres Motel, and the Causeway Bay Hotel.
I don't have a receipt from Causeway Bay.
We don't. We don't have the receipts from Causeway.
Okay, why is that?
We just weren't able to obtain those receipts.
You contacted Causeway and they wouldn't give you a receipt?
We hadn't contacted them. We tried to get more receipts from Green Acres, but they told us that they didn't. They told us that they didn't have them, but they have been with the accountant.
Okay, well, I can only grant based on what I have here. And based on the complaint, time-wise, I am going to subtract July's rent because he did not vacate, July and August, actually. He didn't vacate the property until September. And so I'm going to grant him recovery for these bills, and I'm going to subtract of rent for July and August because he didn't vacate until September. Well, rent was how much? $700 per month. Okay, when did he vacate? It was September 19th. And when is rent due?
The first.
And he did not pay July rent.
No, July, August, or September.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna subtract July, August, and September. So that's 3 months. At the amount of $700 per month. Okay, just so I can make sure I'm reading, because these Green Acres motel receipts are handwritten. I see one receipt and it says the amount is for the date of 2/21/23, total amount $1,365. Is that accurate?
And also, Your Honor.
Yes.
I contacted Green Acres. They said they charge $385 a week. And I looked like one receipt, I look at the one dated 1/9/23. For 1 month, he has now $26.80.
But yeah, I am concerned about what these are for because this says January 9, 2023. Oh, that's for 1 month.
Yeah, but when I called, they said they charge $385 a week.
That wasn't without tax though.
That's the complete fee, $385 a week. Cause I had a question for this one, because it was $26.80 for 1 month. That's why I called for receipt.
Rent for 21 days. Per day, 135.
Your Honor, so can I say something on?
Yes.
So it looks like they have the dates, even though it says 1/9, they backdated it till December 6th until January 9th.
That's still,
So that's 1 month.
yeah, and
And then 1/9 till 1/31 is the next month.
it still
Yeah.
doesn't equal up though.
I think that, and I don't know, ma'am, I don't know how much they're charging because even one of these receipts, the one from February 21, 2023, that states it's for 5 nights, of February 21st to the 28th. Why do we have 2 receipts for that?
So there's the one receipt from the 1st to the 21st, which is the one, so that's the one at the top of Exhibit C.
Okay,
Yep, the rent for 21 days.
and then the
Daily 65.
Yeah, and it's.
and then 21st to the 28th.
Correct. No, the 20.
The first to the
first.
21st.
Yep, and then the 21st to the 28th is on the second page.
Okay,
And that's for
the-
5 nights.
Got it. Because receipt number ended in 3964. It does look like the 21st to the 28th kind of in here.
Yeah, it's the 20, the
And
1st
that
to the
would be,
21st.
that would be a week, and that's not there. It doesn't add up to what they said.
Got it. So it doesn't sound like though that they have a set rate because if you look at this receipt ending in 3962, this is for 1 week and they only charge $325 for the whole
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
Yep.
they give them discounts. If they do it for about a month, they give
they
them
discount it?
discounts.
Okay.
It don't be 300 some.
Got it.
1 week.
But it looks
They
like
discount.
the receipt ended in 3964, which is from February 1st to February 21st. They charge $365. So the largest receipt, or the one I think that you probably have the most concern about,
It's the
Maybe.
2680 for 1 month, because when I called, they said we don't do monthly, they said we do weekly, we be charging 365. If I rounded that to 400 times 4 weeks, would be $1,600.
okay.
And
This
then
might be, this actually may be 5 weeks, so, because it's December 6th
to
through the 9th.
Okay, well, it's still contradictory. I don't know how we can figure this out because they said that's their rates. That's why I called to verify. These are contradictory.
Okay, I don't know why they would have charged him more on that, but this is,
Just like per day, I see this one says 65. Now he told me that he did say you only get a day, it's $65. They said it there, but they said if you stay continuously, they charge $365 a week. And then like, how much is this? Is this 520? The one dated March 7th, that's for 1 week and it's 520.
March 7th.
That's the one dated March 7th, 23, and that's for 1 week from March 1st to March 8th. And this state is $520. It's like it's like
For 1 week.
Wrote that in.
yeah, it's
They just wrote numbers in.
Right, but this is what he paid.
But
Whether or not they got gypped or not, we don't know. That's what he paid. And I don't know if they have a standard rate.
just call the information over the phone.
So that's the rate we're gonna go with, but obviously there's been some situations where that's been a little different. Cause I have here 520 for 1 week.
All right, just call. We told her three.
There was another week where they only charged him 325. So it may be fluctuating, I'm not sure. I also don't know if there's something else being added on here.
or if his daughter's staying with him and he's paying for another bed for her.
And that could be the case, because what they did indicate is that's for a single.
And his daughter wasn't on the leave, so
It does look like it's been in the same room for the most part, which is room 35. So it doesn't look like he switched rooms. I don't think that was an issue. I can't speak to what the dispute with that would be. What I will do. Red roof, was it $900 on the first bill? Is that what the GTD means? I don't know.
Where are you looking?
At the top, I'm trying to find out the total amount that he paid.
I think it's on the second page, Honor,
Okay, 271,
the 30712.
307.
That's for one of the stays. So that would be for the stay 10-3 through 10-6. And then the 9/21 stay, the total was 7344. And then the 9/25 stay was 8530. And then the 9/26 through 10-2 stay was 43505. Did we, and then there was one for the 26th through the 2nd, and yes, I already talked about that one. That one was for 43505.
43505. $1430, $2680, $1365, $325, and $520. That's all I have there. I have a total of $7,220.91 for hotel stays. Is that accurate? What you got? Or did you calculate at all?
Got 807,742.
Okay, what am I missing? Because I did it twice. I must be missing one of the bills.
So if we just totaling the green acres, so if we total them in two separate batches.
I did the same thing, yeah.
So if we just do the green acres.
I came with 6,320 for Green Acres.
We got 6290 for the Green Acres. So
I have 1365 plus 1430 plus 2680 plus 325 plus 520. I'm sorry, 6,320.
that's
Yes.
what we've got.
Okay. And
So,
for the others, I have 30712, 7344, 8430, and 43505.
correct.
That comes to $991.
$991.
That's what I have.
Yep.
So the total is 7,220 and 91 cents. Rent for 3 months is $2,100. I'm attaching for their lease a $50 late fee each month. That leaves a balance of $4,970.91.
I do have a question on the damages, Your Honor.
Correct. Yes.
So the statute does entitle somebody who's been forcefully evicted to recover 3 times their actual damages or $200, whichever is greater.
Okay.
So my question is there a reason we're not being awarded treble damages?
Absolutely, because I was just about to address the
Okay,
condition in which he left the property,
all right.
and they have to remove it.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to make that.
Okay, I have exhibits 1, which discuss a red Jeep SUV that was abandoned at the property. It was inoperable. And they need to get this off the property within 14 days. I'm sorry, less than that at this point. They gotta get it off by the 14th. There's also a list from the code enforcement for trash and debris correction. States here they need to, by March 14th of this year, remove multiple violations of things that were left outside of the property by your client. Your client also is gonna have to get his property out of the inside of that house. And he's only gonna get 10 days to do that. So that would be the judgment of the court. We're going to award $4,970 to the defendant for constructive eviction. I'm not addressing the property being boarded up primarily because that's because of how the property was red tagged. So I think that's the responsibility of the homeowner to get the property secured. Nonetheless, property needs to be vacated by a writ date of March 20th. And they reserve their right to seek money damages under their original complaint. So if you want to seek money damages under your original complaint, you reserve the right to pursue that in court, okay? Yes. I can hear you.
How do we do that?
You would have to go to the clerk's office and file a complaint for that purpose, okay? You didn't want to seek it at this point. I don't even think you were prepared to do that, because you don't know what's going on inside the property. You may have to go in there, remove the property yourself. It may cost you a ton of money to do that. I don't know. But you can file once you have that evidence. And you should be preserving evidence, and when you come to court, you need to bring the evidence. That would include things like pictures. So that no one has to go off your word versus the next person's word. And then if you need to seek, you may get in there, you may not have a problem. He may come and get all of his stuff and leave the property in as much room swept condition as he possibly can. But you have that right. I'm not going to preclude you or from that in this case. I'm going to give everybody their exhibits back, Mr. Bigelow. And I'm going to ask Ms. Till to provide the court with a order under the 7-day rule. Any questions for the court?
Your Honor, can we have time to pay that? We don't have that type of money.
No, you can get time to pay. You can
Make payment arrangements or
make,
something?
you can discuss payment arrangements with him if that's what you want to do, request or file a motion for installment payment order. You'll have time to do that.
We don't got that type of money. right now.
I understand that. Any additional questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
What you say you want to do, file for that? No, I'm talking about for all the other stuff. You gotta pay for that truck. You know you- No, you ain't gonna move that stuff. Pay the taxes for that too. So, Your Honor, do we get our property back on the 20th? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the date you can file for writ. If he doesn't remove the stuff on the property,
No,
you can file for a writ.
I'm talking about, how can we get in the property without,
To
let
get
him-
access.
yeah, when we get access to the property.
If he doesn't come in and remove the stuff out the property, then on the 20th, you can come and request a writ of execution, and then you can force execution of him being vacated from the property.
So they're gonna charge us for that on the 14th, because we got all of.
I recognize that.
He charged. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I have one question. Can I took off work. Can I have like, is there anything I can have?
You need a note that you were here. Is that what you mean? Okay, we'll get, he has a notepad with that. I don't know where it is, but Mr. Bigelow could get it for us. You have, I think you have a notepad in there for people who need a note for work. Good afternoon. How can I help you? Does he have audio? He does. Hello? He muted himself? Hello? Who's this? Can you message him? No, he's gone. He probably was in the wrong place. He's like in the state building. Okay, well, this is not really a letter addressed to me. It looks like it's a letter for you. Thank God it was long, huh?
Chambers.
A file? Or special? Oh, you can bring it. You can bring it to me.
Can he go?
Go where?
He wants
Somebody
to
wants
go
on
to
vacation?
California. I think he wants to see his
Think-
daughter.
I think I denied it. Let me see. Did I make that up?
They sent another request because the dates are different now. You didn't deny it. They're supposed to address it on the pretrial. Is what I told them. In the email.
Oh, wait, this is different, isn't it? This is a young kid.
The
This is today. He's gonna leave today? That's what this says. Denied. You can respond to them if denied, because they didn't make prior approval of the court.
they sent it. This has been said.
Yeah, well, you can't motion Addie for permission to
They don't
amend the
care
bond.
about me.
It's a laundry list. Who did the no contact order have before? Did I arraign him? I didn't arraign him. Right? Buchanan did. You know what? She should probably tell us what her staff's names are. She said no contact with her staff and family. No contact with the governor and the governor's staff and family. That's supposed to know all those people's names.
I can't do it without names.
Yeah, that's how it works. We'll call them later. Okay. You all ready? Francis, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brian Lum on behalf of plaintiff Cody Sowers.
Was detail on behalf of the defendant, Nicole Garvey, who was seated to my right.
Thank you. Today's the date and the time that was set for a bench trial on a eviction proceeding. Are we ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Any preliminary matters?
One preliminary matter I did want to address with the court is that the amount in controversy here does exceed the $25,000 jurisdictional limit. So it is prudent to move this case to circuit court. However, we are prepared to go forward today.
Your Honor, the land contract loan payment exceeds the jurisdictional $25,000. However, we're not seeking a money judgment exceeding the $25,000 limit. I believe the court rules specify that it's a money judgment is sought that it need to be.
The amount of controversy exceeds the jurisdictional limit. I don't think you have to have a money judgment for that amount. But how much is in controversy?
The land contract purchase price is $125,000. We're saying that $150,000 is still high.
Never on court. Why didn't you get the case transferred?
That was the first time it's been brought up.
This person is back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How can I help you?
Yeah, yesterday, this is Special Agent Smith calling from the Attorney General's office. And yesterday I emailed, I was informed that Judge Simmons was the person that was signing search warrants. And I was just
Wait a
wondering,
minute. Let me pump the brakes here. You logged into my virtual courtroom about a search warrant while I'm in the middle of court?
I had no other way of contacting you, Your Honor. I apologize.
No, there's a notice that goes out and it tells you exactly how to contact me. And it is via a phone or an email, but nowhere did it provide my Zoom contact information. You must have looked this up.
I sure did, Your Honor. And again, I apologize.
I'm in the middle of a bench trial.
I apologize, Your Honor. I'll go through it and I'll try to get it a different way. I apologize.
Thank you. correct?
Not over the jurisdictional limit.
Okay, because if it's possession only, we can proceed.
We're seeking a money judgment for reasonable rental rate during the term of the.
Okay, but not for the full amount in the contract.
Correct.
And obviously under the 25,000 jurisdictional law, correct? Okay, you can proceed.
I will say though, Your Honor, we are disputing the amount of the land contract.
You're also disputing the amount of the land contract?
Correct. We are disputing the amount and the facts of the land contract. We have two separate land contracts here that we're dealing with. One is for $85,000 and one is for $125,000.
I have it attached to the complaint. The land contract for 125,000.
And then if you'll take a look at my answer.
Says defendant and plaintiff entered into land contract on December 15th, 2017. The purchase price under that contract was for 83,000.
And I provided a copy of the land contract. It's attachment or exhibit A.
Okay, I see exhibit A attached to that. Okay, any other preliminary matters? Okay, Mr. Long, you can proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, this is a land contract forfeiture action. Our client entered into a land contract with the defendant December 15th, I believe. And regardless of which land contract is deemed to be the true land contract, they both have a balloon payment due. Our balloon payment was due January 1st, 2021, and the defendants, the land contract they provided, the balloon payment was due January 1st, 2019, I believe. And it's now March 8th, 2023. So at this point, there is a balloon payment due, whether it's
Okay, opening.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Basically, we dispute the amount of the land contract. The contract that was provided to the court provided that the purchase price was $125,000. The contract that my client signed and continued to make payments on was for $85,000. And there was a balloon payment due. That payment has not yet been made. However, my client has continued to put the monthly payments into an escrow account until we're able to determine the which contract is the contract that she should be making payments on. And so what we're seeking today, Your Honor, is we're just seeking to determine which land contract we should be making payments on.
Okay, you can call your first witness.
we call Coding Towers. Standing.
You can raise your right hand when you get a chance. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to provide is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
You can have a seat.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sowers.
Good
Can
afternoon.
you please state your name for the record?
Codeine Renee Sowers,
And can you spell that, please?
Aodeen, Reyne, and then Sowers is Sowers.
And we're here for a land contract forfeiture, is that correct?
Yes,
And When you first came to my office, you provided me with a land contract, correct?
I did, yes.
Your Honor, we have, we each have a copy that we are claiming is the original. Was wondering if we could present them. If
As
we
an
have copies, we
exhibit?
have copies.
We do have the copies, but we're each proffering the original contract. So we just wanted to know if you wanted, if we could give you the original contract.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's my client.
Well, you gotta get it admitted first, unless you're stipulating to admit it. Are you all stipulating? I don't think so, because you got two different contracts that you're trying to get it.
That's the.
You gotta get that in through your witness.
Ms. Sellers provided me with this land contract. Can I present it to my client?
You can.
So on the first page, can you tell us who the seller is
The seller is Codeine Narsauers,
and who is the purchaser?
Nicole Garvey,
And what's the property address?
3720 Coach Light Commons, Lansing, Michigan 48911,
And what is the purchase price?
125,000.
And what's the monthly payment?
The monthly payment is $850.
And when is the balloon payment due?
Hang on. Buyer agrees to pay the balance $125,000 in monthly payments of $850. Buyer discretion beginning on the first day of the month, continuing the same month. Each month, payments will continue until January 1st, 2021, when there will be an entire remaining balance due on contract due at maturity, final balloon payment due to be paid in full.
And is there a late payment, late charge?
Seller may collect a late charge not to exceed 10% of each payment not received by the due date.
And did you collect any money for tax escrow?
Yes. A little over $200 a month was collected and was included in the $850 a month payment.
And in this land contract, what is the first numbered paragraph?
Number 2,
And if you go all the way to page 2, what's the last number paragraph?
19,
And between 2 and 19, are there any paragraphs that are missing or blank?
no, they all are, all 19 paragraphs have some writing.
And on page 3, who signed as the seller
I did,
and who signed as the buyer?
Nicole Garvey,
And is the document notarized?
yes,
And is there a notary stamp?
yes.
And what's the name of the notary?
Ashley Gould,
And what was the date that it was acknowledged?
the day she notarized it,
Yes.
December 15th, 2017.
And are you the only one who would have, are you the only person that deals with these land contracts, where you do work for a company, or are you work for yourself?
I just take care of myself. I can't afford to,
Do you have any husband or anybody else that helps you with these?
no,
And so you would be the custodian of records for this land contract?
yes,
And to the best of your knowledge, is this the original land contract?
yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the land contract be admitted as Exhibit 1.
Any objection? Well, you hold it until I admit it.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No
ma'am.
problem.
No, nothing with the foundation.
Okay, the objection is admitted. Are you ready for it to be published, or you still have questions on it?
That's all I have.
Okay, I'll take it then. Thank you, ma'am.
And you told us the monthly payment is $850 a month, correct?
It is 850 a month.
And did you prepare a ledger of those payments?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I present the ledger to my client?
Okay.
Do you already have ours?
Yeah.
And looking at the ledger, it looks like the payments were made pretty regularly. In fact, they were current, they continued making payments through June of 2023, or 2022, is that correct? There was a time that they got behind, but they caught up.
Yeah, they were
June
always,
2022.
they were perfect. They always paid on time every month until COVID. When COVID hit, let's see, it started in December 17. She paid every month on time, all the way through 2018, all the way through 2019. She did not have a problem at all until it looks like May of 2020, basically. That was during COVID.
And then she did catch up,
She
correct?
did catch up.
And was current all the way through
And,
June
after
of
she caught,
2022.
now, after she caught up, same thing. She always paid right at the first of the month. Right up until last payment, June 7th, 2022 was her last payment.
And so you totaled up the amount of payments she's paid you through the term of the land contract.
Yes,
And how much is that?
the payments that she's made,
Yeah, the total amount of the payments.
$46,375.
And that was applied to principal, taxes, and
Principal, interest,
taxes.
and taxes.
And did you prepare an amortization schedule?
I did.
Your Honor, can we admit the ledger?
What exhibit is that?
Exhibit 2, plaintiff's exhibit 2.
Any objection?
No.
Exhibit 2.
That's admitted. Thank you.
And you said that you had prepared an amortization schedule,
I did.
and can you tell us what the amortization schedule does?
It breaks down the monthly payment. It tells you how much each month to apply to principal, and then how much to apply to interest, and how much to escrow for taxes. That's how we came up with the payment amount of $850 a month.
May I present this to my client?
Okay.
This is plaintiff's exhibit 3. looking at the amortization schedule, go to June of 2022, when you said the last payment was made. What is the balance at that point in time?
Let's see. June 2022, the balance would be $115,368.38.
And is that the amount you asked for in the complaint?
Yes,
Would ask that the amortization schedule be entered, Your Honor, as appended to Exhibit 3.
Objection?
I no, I have no.
That's it, Mayor.
And in our complaint, we also asked for an insurance certificate, is that correct?
yes, I'm sorry.
And is insurance required to be provided by the buyer in the land contract?
Yes, I believe so.
And have you ever received an insurance certificate from the buyer?
No,
And have you ever received any written requests to make any repairs to make the house insurable?
no,
And do you own any other properties?
yes,
And so would you say you have knowledge on the price of the market rate?
yes,
And also in our complaint, we'd asked for reasonable rent for the time period from the forfeiture date until the date you receive the property, is that correct?
yes, because I haven't received any payments in 8 months.
And did you do any research as far as looking for comparable properties?
Yes, I did.
Anyway, that leads to my client.
Amen.
Ryan, there's no exhibit number on it.
And so the first page, it's a listing for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house for $1,500 a month. Is that the property that you own?
Yes,
And did you have anybody contact you about renting this property for $1,500 a month?
yeah, I printed out a screenshot. I had over 554 people contact me to wanting to fill out.
Hi, how can I help you? Ma'am,
Yes,
which court are you looking for?
Judge Kristen Simmons,
Okay, what's your name?
carry on.
You have a case number?
I do. 220366 0, is that a L? TE?
Yeah.
It was for 245
On what date?
today.
Did it say March 2nd?
No, it says March 8th.
March 1st is what I believe your court date was.
No, it was for March 8th.
Huh?
I've been speaking with the Parks Council even. And they
No, I
confirmed that it
recognize
was,
that, but our records say that your court date was March 1st and you failed to appear, and so you got a default judgment.
no. When I was in court, I was told March 8th at 2:45.
Do you have your notice to appear with you?
I have the notice that I had from the last hearing that is wrote on my paperwork.
No, I don't know what you, I don't want to know what you wrote on your paperwork. We sent you a
I didn't
notice.
I didn't
What is
receive
that
any other
notice then?
notice. I didn't receive any other notice.
Your court date would have been mailed to you to the address that we have on file, and it was for March 1st, ma'am.
I did not receive anything else in the mail. And I've been talking to
Okay.
the opposing counsel and they literally said, like, I have it in the emails with the opposing counsel that it was for today.
Okay, yeah, the opposing counsel's not here. You know why? They came on the 1st and they got a default judgment.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I have emails after that. That doesn't. So now what?
You're gonna need to go to the civil department and request to have the judgment set aside, default judgment set aside. You probably want to contact them immediately, ma'am.
So I go to downtown to the courthouse.
That's correct. You want to go down to the courthouse on the 5th floor. You're going to the civil clerk's office, and you're gonna let them know you want to file a motion to set aside the default judgment.
Okay.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can proceed.
And just backing up, so 3720 Coach Lake Commons, how many bedrooms, bathrooms does that property have?
3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom.
So looking at page 3 of the exhibit I just gave you. What are the properties you have here?
Well, they have a 4-bedroom, bath and a half for 1,600. They got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath for 1,800. They got a 3-bedroom, 1 bath for 1,500, and they have a 3-bedroom, 2 bath for 1,600.
Is the purpose of this portion of testimony to establish the reasonable rental value? Was that what you're?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the next page.
On page 4. There's a 3-bedroom, 2 bath for $1,949, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath for $1,300, a 3-bedroom, 2 bath for $1,500, and a 1-bedroom for $650.
And the next page.
3-bedroom, 1 bath for $1,500, 3-bedroom, 2 bath for $1,600. And then the other 2 look like apartments, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, $950, 1 bed, 1 bath, $850.
And what about the last page?
I don't know if those are apartments. 3-bedroom, 2 bath, $1,499. There's a studio, 1 bath for $735. A 2-bedroom, 1 bath, $1,080, and a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, looks like a condo or something, $950.
So looking at those listings and with your own listing, what would you believe a reasonable rental rate for this property, 20-foot light comments would be
1,500,
$1,500 a month.
that's why.
And move to admit that.
That was the plaintiff's exhibit 4, or was, okay, any objection? Exhibit 4 is admitted. Thank you.
And if Ms. Garvey were to pay the $115,368.38, would you be willing to accept that full payment of the
Yes,
property? Sign a deed to Ms. Garvey?
yes. She could go wrong.
And based on your land contract, the purchase price being 125,000, and the sum we're saying is due based on the amortization schedule of the 115,368.38. Is that more or less than 50% of the?
That's more.
More than 50%.
Of the 125,000? Well, I don't understand the
No,
question.
the 125,000. How much is that of the total balance? More than 50% or less than 50% of the total balance?
115,000 is, I really don't understand what you're trying to say. $115,000 is more than 50, is less than 50%. 50% when you divide it by half, if that's what you're trying to say.
Right, 50% would be divided by half, divide the 125.
The 125 divided by half, yeah, would be 50,000 plus half of 125,000, or excuse me, 20,000. 50, 60,000, whatever, if you divide it by 2. So
So 115 would be more than.
would be more than
50%.
60 some odd thousand, yes. If that's what you're meaning.
That's all I have.
Thank you, cross exam.
Ms. Sowers, did you draft this contract?
Yes,
You did? Okay. And then after drafting this contract, were any copies made?
yes,
Okay. And were the copies that were made any different from the one that you submitted to the court?
which,
Were the copies, okay, when you drafted that original contract and the copies were made, was there any difference between those copies and the copy that you provided to the court?
The one that you provided at the time that would attach to the complaint, you mean?
Attached to the complaint, correct?
yeah, I made a copy of the original contract
Okay,
and then made a copy for the attorney.
what didn't it, okay, so just to clarify, no attorney helped you draft this contract, correct?
No,
If I can just draw your attention back to the ledger. If I can approach Your Honor. I see several items for $85 late fees. Now, were these, I see these were assessed on the first one. Can you take a look at those?
the late fees, yes. What about them?
So my question to you is, if the rent was paid on the first of the month, as like according to the ledger, why were the late fees issued?
Well, The late fees are if the payment was made late at all. I think I'd have to look at the contract. I think the contract is due on the first. The payment's due on the first, so if the payment is due after the first, there is a late fee.
Okay, so were any of those payments made after the first?
Well, I think, yes. Almost all of them. Well, that's not true. Just the ones that have, there's plenty that don't. And the ones that do have a late fee were made after the first. Right, so the payment, if the payment was made after the first, it has a late fee. If the payment was made on the first or before the first, there was no late fee.
Okay. And so the late fee, what does that cover?
Well, I have mortgages that I pay, and if people don't pay me, I can't pay my mortgages. So I get a late fee that I have to pay.
And what is the amount of is there a mortgage associated with this property?
No,
Okay,
but
and,
it's my income to make my mortgages.
okay, so. Do you incur any administrative expenses as a result of a late payment? Do you have to pay anyone?
I pay myself.
Does that late fee cover any accounting that you have to do? Do you have to pay an accountant?
It pays me. I do all my own. As you can see, I couldn't even afford attorney to draft a contract. I pay myself to do my own work. It's the income that I pay myself.
Okay.
Otherwise, I work for free.
I have no further questions.
You redirect?
One quick question. The late fee, was that agreed to in the land contract?
It was
And what was the agreed upon amount?
10%. What did I think it said? No more than 10%. So it could have been $125,000, I guess. Right?
10% of the payment, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have it right. I'd have to.
Okay, you may be excused, ma'am.
That's right.
Thank you. You may be excused.
I'm sorry. I have really poor hearing.
No problem. There's a glass thing right here. It stops the
Yes.
sound from traveling sometimes. You can call your next witness. Mr. Lum.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, any other proofs at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Taylor, you can call your witness.
The defense would like to call Nicole Garvey to the stand.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Please state your first and last name and spell both of them.
It's Nicole Garvey, NICHOLEGAR, V as in Victor, IE.
All right. And Nicole, how do you know the plaintiff, Colleen Sowers?
I met her through an old job.
Okay. And are you currently trying to purchase a house from her on a land contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what I'm going to show you has been labeled as the defendant's exhibit A. Can you take a look at that one? Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, and what is that? What is that?
This is the land contract that I signed the day that I moved it.
So when did you move in?
Or December 15th of 2017.
Okay. And where was this contract signed?
It was signed in front of the notary at the UPS store on MLK.
Okay. And is this this is the contract that you signed?
That is the contract that I signed.
Okay. Who is this individual, Katie Lynn Clark?
Caitlin Clark is my son's ex-wife.
Okay, and was she supposed to sign this contract?
She was supposed to sign the contract.
Okay, why didn't she?
At the last minute, they decided that that's not what they wanted to do. They didn't want to move in and be on contract with me.
Okay, so why is her name still listed on the contract?
We never changed it. We just crossed her name off of the back and went and signed that contract.
Okay, and what was the purchase price that you originally agreed to?
$83,000.
Okay, and what was the amount that you were supposed to pay per month?
The contract says $750.
$750. Okay. I would like to enter the defendant's exhibit A, and I would also just request if I can give you the original copy.
Oh, so any objection to defendant's exhibit A?
What was the second last part?
She wants to give the original.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no objection.
Okay, defendant's A is admitted. You can put it on the side.
All right, I'd next like to bring the court and yours attention to our exhibit B, which was our packet of receipts. And if you go towards, I apologize, the middle of that document, there's a ledger. At the top, it says house payment paid in folder. Okay. So can you take a look at that for me? Do you recognize this?
I do.
Okay. And so according to this ledger, you were making payments of $850 a month. If your contract was for $750, why are you making payments of $850 a month?
That is what she told me that I was required to pay when I moved in, was $850, even though the contract said $750.
Okay, so you continued to make payments of $850 despite the land contract.
Yes,
Okay. When was the last time you made a payment?
July of,
Did you have a receipt for that payment?
I believe so.
Did you provide that receipt to our office?
I provided you with all of the receipts that I had.
Even if I don't believe that we have it with me, but if I don't, is there a reason that you wouldn't have that receipt? Do you usually keep your receipts, or do
I-
you sometimes miss some of your receipts?
I normally have all of my receipts. That one, may have gotten misplaced
Okay.
if you don't have it.
Do you, so after you made the payment in July of 2022, did you continue to make payments?
I did not.
Why?
There was a separate issue from the house with Codeine Sowers and my brother Walter Durfee. And every time I spoke with Codeine, she reverted conversation back to the situation between them. Even though I tried to only speak to her about the house. And at one point, she told me that she was just going to proceed with a foreclosure on the house. And that's when I stopped giving her payments and putting them into escrow.
So have you placed your payments into an escrow account?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how much is in an escrow account for that one?
Currently there is $7,025.
Okay. And is this for 8 months of payments at $850, or is it $750?
It was $850.
Okay.
So 8 months of payments at $850. Have you made any applications for assistance with Yes.
getting your payments current?
Yes, I have applied for my half assistance.
And regarding the home insurance on the property, did you obtain insurance?
I did have insurance all up until June of 2022. When I switched insurance companies and the insurance company canceled due to the roof needing to be replaced.
What I'm going to show you is marked as Defendant's Exhibit C. Okay, all right, can you take a look at that? Do you recognize that?
I do recognize this.
Okay. What's shown here?
And that is a notice of cancellation for the owner's insurance through farmer's insurance. Like I said, due to a full replacement of the roof.
Okay, so they told you you needed a full replacement on your roof?
Yes,
Okay, was it you that wrote full replacement down at the bottom?
yes,
Okay, is that your handwriting?
that is my name.
Okay, now, did you let Ms. Sowers know that the roof needed to be replaced?
At the time that I had gotten a cancellation notice, my brother was talking to Miss Codeine a lot more than I was. I had been working a lot. And so I just asked him to relay the message to her that it needed a full replacement. She told him to just keep looking for insurance company.
So did you make any requests for repairs? Did you ask her for authorization to make repairs?
I personally did not.
Okay. Have you or your brother made any improvements to the roof to
No.
find insurance?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I have been able to obtain renter's insurance and that's it.
Have you made any attempts to find other insurance providers for homeowners?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you do have rental insurance. at this
Yes,
point. Okay. All right, if I can enter the defendant's exhibit C.
Any objection?
No objection.
Submitted.
Now, after you signed that contract, were there any drafts circulated?
No,
Did you see any before the complaint for land contract forfeiture was submitted to the court? Did you see any other versions of this document?
no, ma'am.
Okay, is the document that we submitted to the court today the same document that you signed?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Did you publish Exhibit C?
Yes, I believe you did.
I believe you took it. Just a couple questions. This Exhibit A, this was your copy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where did you get this copy?
When?
Where?
Oh, where? From Miss Hours.
Okay, and how did you receive it? Did she send it to you electronically, or did she give it to you by mail or in person?
In person.
And was it on the date that this was signed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why doesn't yours have the notary's information on the bottom?
I don't know.
Okay. Also, why does your copy seem to be missing some numbers?
I don't know.
Processing.
Ms. Garvey, I just have a few questions for you. So on the land contract that you submitted, I don't know if I can show this to you, but may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
So here has paragraph number 2, 3, 4. No 5, and then it goes to 6, and 6 is cut off. Is that correct?
Yes.
And on page 2, we go from 6 to 9. And then it goes 9, 10, 11. 11 is blank. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Is that correct?
Yes.
There are handwritten notes on here without any initials or dates or anything. Is that correct?
Yes.
And on the last page, there's no stamp at the bottom. Is that correct?
Appears to be correct.
And on the very first page, it has Nicole and Caitlin Clark was supposed to be the buyers. Correct?
Correct.
So you said Miss Clark is not end up.
Correct.
And the land contract that you provided said that the monthly payment is $750, but you paid $850 the whole time, correct?
Yes.
Which is the amount that was in that land contract that was submitted with the complaint.
Yes.
Regarding the insurance, did you ever provide Ms. Sowers with a copy of the insurance certificate anytime during the contract?
I believe in the very beginning I did.
Would that have been for a year or 6 months or? What would have been?
It would have. I think the home insurance was like, they expire after 6 months and then renew.
So
I
if
think
you
they
would,
renew every 6 months.
if you gave her the first one, did you give her subsequent certificates after the first one?
No.
And you never personally gave Ms. Sowers notice that the insurance was canceled because of a roof needing to be replaced?
Not me personally.
all the questions I have for you. Thank you.
I have a couple questions. You're paying $850 every month,
Yes,
and when do you recall your last payment of $850?
July of 2022.
So you continue to make payments of $850 up until this year, or this past year, July?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but the agreement that you have, you believe your payment was supposed to be $750?
That is what she had in the land contract. She verbally told me it was to be $850, and that she could change it because that said, or I can't remember the wording.
Or more at buyer's discretion?
Yes,
Okay, and according to this agreement that you have, the balloon payment would continue, or the payments would continue, and you would have to pay the maturity on January 1st, 2019.
Correct.
Do you believe that to be the case?
that is what I believe.
Okay,
Yes.
redirect.
Was there a reason you continued to make payments and not tried to make a balloon payment as of 2019? And just continue to make monthly payments?
We never discussed anything as far as making a balloon payment. When the contract came up to expire. So I just continued to make payments and she continued to accept them.
I'm not following. What do you mean when the contract expired?
When the contract expired, when the land contract in 2019.
Okay, but it says you're gonna make payments of 750 or more at the buyer's discretion. The first day of the month, continuing on the same day each month, and payments will continue into January 1st, 2019, when there will be an entire remaining balance due. Where does it say that the contract is going to expire on that date?
Okay, maybe that was my assumption that it expired that day.
Okay, so you believe that you had a land contract to make these payments every month, and then it will expire. The contract would expire on January 1st.
I'm not real familiar with the land contract and how they work. So yes, that is what I thought.
Okay, thank you. You can continue.
One thing I do want to draw your attention to is, did we admit the exhibit B, the receipts?
B, no, I have A and C for you.
Okay. All right, I want you to just take a quick look at this document that's been labeled as the defendant's exhibit B. Do you recognize these documents?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and have they been altered in any way since you provided them to our office? Want to just take a quick look?
They do not look.
And are they a fair and accurate representation of the payments you've made, at least for the amounts that are listed on the receipts themselves?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we would move to enter the defendant's exhibit B.
Any objection to defendant's exhibit B?
No, Your Honor.
You're admitted. Okay, thank you. You can be excused from the stand. Any additional witnesses?
Your Honor.
No, that's for-
Nothing for defense, Your Honor.
Okay. Any rebuttal?
Just, I'd like to point out, Your Honor, if you look at the original land contract.
What rebuttal witnesses?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, then you can proceed to argument.
my client entered into a land contract with Ms. Garvey. We believe if you look at the original that we gave you, you can tell that the ink, the signatures are ink. It's stamped by a notary at the bottom. All the numbers correspond. And we believe that either land contract you look at, Ms. Garvey has defaulted under the balloon payment requirement. And we ask for a judgment in favor of my plaintiff, in favor of the plaintiff, for $115,368.38 as a redemption amount, as well as reasonable rent, which we believe is $1,500 per month from the date of forfeiture through the redemption period.
You're asking for $1,500 a month from the date of forfeiture.
June 6th, which would be the redemption date. So prorated, the total amount would be $12,058.14.
You said in 15 cents,
14 cents.
14 cents. Oh, thank you. Any further argument?
Thank you.
Ms. Timm.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client has also testified that the amount or the contract is the original. It has the same, similar staple marks, aging, also has ink signatures. I would object to the imposition of a reasonable rent. My client has placed those payments in escrow, and will release that escrow upon judgment, and just continue to make those payments only due to the controversy between the contracts.
Okay. You do know this is not an ink signature, correct? This is a photocopy. This is ink. I don't know if you want to see them close, so you can see the difference. But it's apparent to the court's eye that this is actually a photocopy.
Do you want to take a look at this?
If I may, please.
This is theirs. It's the last page on there. That's yours. And the one that you submitted is actually a photocopy. Okay. All right, well, I'm ready to roll. As far as I'm concerned, it's a relatively easy situation for the court to determine. We have a dispute as to pretty much just whether or not which contract prevails. Not, I mean, I think it goes without dispute that there was never a balloon payment. So under one contract, the balloon payment would have been due on the 1st of January 2019. The other one, the 1st of January 2021. For the defendant, she thought or misunderstood the terms of a land contract and thought that that meant that the contract would expire. I think the concern for the court, as it relates to whether or not defendant's Exhibit A is the controlling instrument, is that there's too many inconsistencies for the court to use this as the controlling document. I have the plaintiff's Exhibit 1, which is the original the signature is live. It's a wet signature. It actually has the stamp from the notary. That is, however, missing on the other copy. I don't know why that is the case. And there's no stamp for the recording as well. Page 2 on both of these, well, let's start with page 1. Page 1 on defendant's exhibit A, the size is changed, and then number 7, it seems to be cut off. A portion of number 6 is also cut off. But it looks like number 6 is different from what number 6 is on plaintiff's one. There's also no number 5. If I was gonna enter into a contract, sign something, I would have questions and concerns about these missing numbers and these. You're not gonna give me a contract for this amount, and we're gonna go from 4 to 6. We're not gonna have 5, and then a portion is gonna be cut off, and then we go straight to number 9. There's no 7 and there's no 8. The other noticeable difference to the court is the font changes on this versus this. These are not the same fonts. It's not justified the same. The other issue is that the spacing is even different. So I don't know if there was some negotiation back and forth on the contract. I can't speak to that, but I don't believe this matches this, and these are all in the same font, and the numbers are aligned perfectly. So either you were given a wrong copy, or somehow or another this is misconstrued. I'm not gonna reason that you would intentionally try to defraud the court on that. But I think you're mistaken about that contract. So I believe that the controlling instrument is the plaintiff's exhibit 1 for the contract price $125,000, because it's the only contract that makes sense. The other one does not make sense. The other issue is you've been making payments of $850, which is the exact amount listed in paragraph 2 of the plaintiff's exhibit 1. I wouldn't pay $750 from the beginning at that, if I had a contract that told me to do something else. I don't care what the other language was. It didn't sound like there was much of a dispute as to whether or not the property should be forfeited. Well, the language is very clear in both contracts that there was going to be a balloon payment due. Payment in full was going to be due. If I had taken the contract the defendant relies on, it would have been due years ago. And we would have been before the court long before COVID. And there was nothing done then. But now we are before the court, long after the 2021 date that the payment was due. I think that the property has been forfeited. And as to whether or not rents are going to be due and owing for the amount of $1,500 a month from the forfeiture date until the redemption date, it looks like she's been making payments at least up until July, I believe she said. June? Was it July? Was up until July, and then here we are, it's March. There's been no payments being made since that portion of it. Other time, I think it's reasonable to award rent based on a reasonable market. This is a 3-bedroom. And how many baths?
1.
I'll grant the plaintiff's request for rent in the amount of $1,500 from the date of forfeiture through the redemption date. Any additional matters for the record? I'm gonna need an order under the 7-day rule. Any other matters?
You will need an order.
I will need an order under the 7-day rule.
We'd also ask for court fees and costs.
And what are your damages for court fees and costs? Or what is the amount?
Filing fee is 130. $37. $37 for
Service. $130 for court costs plus $37 for services granted.
and that's for attorney fees as well. Right?
What are you asking for attorney's fees?
To date, my fees are $4,773.50.
They dispute as to the amount he's seeking for attorney's fees.
Yes, I believe that in a forfeiture, I believe that in a forfeiture action, you are entitled to a $75 attorney fee. However, if I would like to see some motion justification for a bill of $47,000 or $4,773.
Okay, I'll reserve the matter for attorney's fees for another hearing. And you all can discuss that off the record and you can provide her with a statement.
I did want to get a clarification as to the amount
For the rent,
total to redeem property, the total amount.
that was the 12,000, was it 58?
So that was the rental
rent.
amount. The redemption we had was the 115 through 60 38.
115, 368.
And that's judgment for possession only. For the forfeiture. The rent is 12,058.14, correct?
That was
For the prorated amount.
$12,058.14.
Okay, very good. Okay, you can submit judgment under 7-day rule for the possession judgment granted, rent at a prorated amount from now until the redemption date, and then your attorney fee, I'm sorry, your attorney fees is reserved, the court costs and service fee can also go into that judgment.
Thank
And we
you.
can set it on for a hearing or for attorney's fees for another date. Motion. Motion for attorney fees will be set for it. Sorry,
March 14th.
they might need some more time for that.
March 21st at 2.
March 21st at 2 for the attorney fee motion. Any additional matters for the record?
Yeah, thank you. Keep the original. Contract.
Oh, you can have all of
I'll
your,
go back.
your exhibits back.
And let him keep the original. So I can keep my hands on that thing. I think it was,
We are.